was killed today while helping with the plan. It is 4 years since our departure from NIMH, and our world is changing. We cannot stay here much longer. Jonathan was a dear friend. I am lost in knowing how to help his widow. She knows nothing of us or the plan. Perhaps best that I do nothing at present. I shall miss him. Jonathan, wherever you are, your thoughts must comfort her tonight. She'll be waiting, and you will not return. Farewell, my friend.
Hello and welcome to Still Watching the Skies for October 2024. I'm Robert Reinecke.
I'm Nat L. Morrell.
I'm Cody Lang.
Every month we explore the lesser discussed science fiction movies of the past. Some famous, some obscure, all of which we believe will create interesting conversations. This month we're going back to 1982 and ex-Disney animator Don Bluth's directorial debut with the animated The Secret of NIMH. After decades of dominating theatrical feature film animation, they were taken on directly by Disney was taken on directly by Don Bluth during the period which our friends at Disorder have christened the Disney Adequates era. I'm sure we'll discuss that era of animation, but to get us started, Nat, who picked the film, is going to give our listeners a short summary of the film and the casting crew involved. So take it away, Nat.
Thanks, Robert. So, yes, The Secret of NIMH covers the travails of Mrs. Brisby, who's a widowed field mouse living in a cinder block with her children on a farm. And it's coming time to harvest the field, and she has to move her family. However, one of her kids is sick. And so she goes on a journey throughout the farm to enlist the help of the mysterious rats of NIMH, who are kind of these technologically advanced super rodents, of which her husband, dead husband, was once one. And so she gets caught up in the inner workings of that, in addition to the dangers that are ever present on the farm. The Secret of NIMH, like Robert said, is directed by Don Bluth, based on Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of NIMH by Robert C. O'Brien. It's produced by Don Bluth and Gary Goldman and John Pomeroy, starring Hermione Baddeley, John Carradine, Dom DeLuise, Elizabeth Hartman, Eric Jacobi. Notably, music by Jerry Goldsmith, and production company, in addition to Don Bluth Productions, is Aurora Productions and United Artists. So let's kick it off with initial thoughts from Cody. What did you think of The Secret of NIMH?
Well, I've seen this many times, but not for a very long time. I saw it as a kid, as I did pretty much all of Don Bluth's movies. The only one as a kid I didn't watch on repeat would have been American Tail, but I would have watched Fievel Goes West, which is the sequel, a lot. And this one I think I watched the most. I watched it always on VHS. Don't know if it was on reruns ever on TV. And as a kid, I loved it. It did scare me a lot as a kid as well. Now, I don't want to do the Tim Burton Batman thing I did, so I'll try to be diplomatic, more diplomatic about it. Yeah, but I didn't enjoy as much as I was hoping I would this time. And I would chalk it up to, the film left a lot of impressions on me as a kid, and um, I don't know if I really understood the story as a kid either. Like, I don't think I put together as a kid, which is weird because it's kind of obvious that the rats were going to get killed by the NIMH exterminators that were calling the farm. What I liked as a kid was, well, really the sword fights and the sort of rats. I liked that part. And I really liked the Great Owl and just the whole look and vibe of the film. Like, it had this really kind of spooky or gothic feel to it, and I think it still does. Um, and the music really is bombastic. I think it's really good, but I just find the whole scenario to just be a bit like, I'm not sure like what to say about it. Like, it just seems like the world is so small, and that this family would have, like, I just find the story to be a bit flimsy, and I know it's an animated film, so, and it's meant for kids, but I still, like, I've seen other animated films where I didn't feel that way about the story. Um, and I'm not really sure how to interpret. So, and this would be the science fiction part of it, the experimentation on the rats and mice that made them intelligent. They don't seem to me to be any more intelligent than, like, the non experimented on animals, like the ones that are, so, like, all the apples, all the animals are anthropomorphic, can speak, and have human qualities, and um like, the only one that seems quite maybe dumb is the crow, but I think that's the point. And I can't tell if the cat uh has any anthropomorphic qualities. It's sort of treated as like just a normal house cat, like, whereas the mice and rats and crows and rabbits, I think, and the shrew can all speak, and they all kind of dress in clothes. Well, not the rabbits, but um and the other thing I noticed this time that I didn't really get as a kid was, like, I don't really I don't really see the point of, like, Nicodemus's plan, like, why it's so bad to be stealing power from the farmhouse. Um, Now it turns out that, like, that rose bush was going to get exterminated, so it's good that they moved. But his actual reasoning was that, it's not good for us to steal power, but, like, why does it matter? It's your rats and mice. You can't create your own power. Like, you can't create your own electrical grid. So there's just certain things, like, where I think the movie or the story, and I don't know what the book is like or the book series, but I still feel like some things could have been a bit more vague, or not, or just maybe not explained, and that would have been a bit better. But I was still trying to put myself in the mindset of, young kid, young Cody watching, and I think it still works as a movie. These are really just, like, kind of nitpicks that came about as I was watching it, because I think it was because I hadn't seen it for so many years that I did kind of forget the details. I did remember certain, like, impressions or scenes quite a bit. And I do think there are a lot of effective scenes. And so overall, I like the movie. It's good, and yeah, but maybe we'll get into the plot a bit more when you guys have a chance to have your thoughts there as well.
How about you, Robert?
Well, my first time seeing the film. I had known about it since 1982, and I think teacher read the book to us in grade school back in the 70s even, so it's been a long, long time. And I don't think they ever finished the book. I don't remember how the book finished up, but I do remember the basic story of it with the super intelligent rats and that. And I feel that it's well, I really like the animation. I think the animation was very impressive, and it got kind of weird and psychedelic and scary. I think mainly when they were experimenting on the rats and they were transforming, I thought that was very well done. I kind of feel that the writing is certainly not up to Disney at its best, or maybe even Disney at its not so best in the era, because I felt it was. I never really got a good feel for characters there. They seem to be, most of them seem to be, well, exposition machines. Maybe Nicodemus had a little bit of personality, and DeLuise's Jeremy the Crow had some personality, although he's an idiot. And I found Mrs. Brisby very bland, and I mean, she has motivation. I'll give her that, but I never got much of a feel for her character, what makes her interesting, other than she's desperate to save her child, Timmy. Though I kind of felt like Timmy's in danger, or they have to do something because Timmy's gravely ill, but they also have, oh, we're going to throw a bunch of comedy and other stuff in here and these futuristic rats, and they couldn't really like settle on what the stakes were. And I feel that sometimes got muddled in the film, as well as this magic amulet that came in there at the end. And it's like going, well, what kind of story is this? Now I've read some thoughts on the themes of the film that is accepting that there's more than science or faith in that, which is fair, but I don't feel it was ever explored in any way. And I feel kind of as a science fiction vehicle, I don't know if it leaves you a whole lot, but I was very impressed by the animation, and I think it is better than what Disney was doing at the same time. But Fox and the Hound was probably the one immediately preceding it, and I've never seen The Black Cauldron, though I probably should, just to see. I know that's widely regarded as Disney's worst animated. I don't feel that's accurate, but I do know that it is regarded as kind of a mess and dark and not what family wanted Disney to be doing at the time. So it's kind of that era where animation maybe wanted to grow up faster than the audience wanted animation to grow up. So yeah, I mean, I think there's lots of interesting things here. I did enjoy the film overall. I mean, you cast Derek Jacobi in a part. I'm in, but I feel that the animation is impressive and the writing maybe not so impressive. How about you, Nat?
Yeah, I did want to start with Cody on this because I think he grew up a little more. Like he and I are kind of in the same age range to kind of like have this be a kids movie for us, and Robert was too busy drag racing and smoking pot at this time to
I was 14. Drag racing was in the future.
Well, but yeah, this isn't one that I really grew up with, but we did see it. Like we saw this in school. I think we saw An American Tail in school. I think they showed at some point All Dogs Go to Heaven. For some reason, our school really wanted to push Don Bluth on us, but I didn't have this or any other Don Bluth movie on VHS growing up, so I'm familiar with it, but I probably haven't seen it for about 35 years or so. And actually I'm surprised too to hear that. I didn't know the book was that popular. I know kids would do book reports on it, like when I was in grade school, but I think that was obviously after the movie had come out. But yeah, I always thought of this as kind of more creepy, more dark, more deadly, and violent than a lot of Disney films of that time, and it feels like also at this time there was like some niche market for very dark animated films like Watership Down was a couple years
Oh,
earlier.
yeah.
I think Plague Dogs was right around this time too. And, you know, those things marketed for children, they're just like terrifying and depressing. And oftentimes,
Watership Down and terrorized my generation, I'll tell you that. Or
yeah.
traumatized our generation is probably the better word
Well,
for it.
The interesting thing too is like this, and I think especially Plague Dogs, is like that skepticism of like the dangers or lack of ethics in science from like the 50s that we see feels like it made its way into like kids films in the 80s. I'm sure they had like that a decent amount in just regular films in the 1980s, but I can't think of too many other kids films that would deal with maybe skepticism or warnings of technology. And maybe it's just because like the people who made this were kids in the 50s watching those same movies when they were growing up. But how cynically they portray the scientists in this, not just for the callousness of like their experimentations, but also how they more or less just want to eradicate everybody, like all the mice. In this is, I don't know, it's a theme that seems a little too mature or like to go over the heads of kids. And it's not like, I wouldn't say this is necessarily made for adults, even though a lot of the content of it is probably for more mature mindsets. But I don't know, we had lots of terrifying things in the 80s growing up, so what do I know? But I'm fairly similar on the same page. Like from what I do remember of this, I do remember it being longer, and I think a lot of it is kind of like filling in either lapses in the plot or just assuming that they dwell on things a little bit more. But it is 83 minutes. It does move along really quickly, and even though I think there's a linear string of events of like where Mrs. Brisby's going and what leads her to what, this really is kind of a series of animated vignettes. And I agree, it looks really, really good. I think the highlight is the owl. But yeah, a lot of these things just don't make much sense. And there's so many antagonists or secondary antagonists or tertiary antagonists that are kind of brought up and dismissed. Like you have Dragon at first, you have the tractor, you have the owl, you have Jenner, you have just all these things that are come up with threats. So it's kind of difficult to keep track of like who's she actually fighting against. Is she even fighting against it? And all of these plot points of like trying to save Timmy, but also having to move her house and having to rescue the kids, and then also having to worry about the rats. Like there's a lot of balls being juggled in the air, and I agree. I don't think they really keep them going for that long. But that said, I really do appreciate the ambition of this, not simply in the animation, and I think Don Bluth especially. Like the one thing I do remember of his animation style is this obsession with textures, like waters and like all the characters have different like clothing that they're constantly playing or fiddling with. Like Auntie Shrew has like a scarf and a hat, and the kids all have their hair, and there's always just like a bounciness to them, or like the way that something drapes or how it's pulled or stretched, or all that is just really, really lingered on. But the ambition to have just like taking on Disney, and even though Disney was like in a weakened state, it still had that brand behind it. And I don't think anybody at that time, no matter how much money they had, really like set out to conquer it. And I think the 80s is a really interesting decade where Bluth may have won that one until 89. But
Yeah.
that's a long amount of time for somebody to really be hitting these things, and even getting like Spielberg behind him later on in that is pretty impressive, even if I don't think the end quality product is as good. And I will say I really like the Black Cauldron. It is a little bit of a mess, but I think it's more cohesive. And I think it's also very, very impressive. And I don't know if it would be something that's a little bit more in response to the darkness of it, because I think it was in production prior to this, or at least pre-production prior to this. But what may have gotten it across the finish line is something that's a response to Don Bluth's movies.
Well, Disney was dark overall in the 80s. I mean, we had Return to Oz and Something Wicked This Way Comes and Watch in the Woods. Disney probably never been darker than they were in the early mid 80s.
For the animated features, though, like they didn't get as dark for Black Cauldron, but yeah, for the live action, they would get more gruesome.
I should just make a correction. I said Pfeiffer Goes West was Don Bluth. It's actually was only a Steven Spielberg produced. Don Bluth had no involvement. But I love that one. No, and that's right. Like it's really impressive what this guy did in the 80s. I was looking through his work today. I had seen most of it until the 90s stuff. I don't think I've seen Pebble and the Penguin and Troll in Central Park and Thumbelina. And I don't really care to.
I will say that Dragon's Lair got a lot of my quarters in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, the video game?
Yeah.
And Space Ace was another one. I think Dragon's Dragon's Lair was the bigger one, but that's a pretty impressive achievement in itself too.
Well, yeah, to make a video game like when it was starting out, that's actually good. Yeah, I would say it's impressive.
But
plus he wasn't like a young guy either. I think he was.
No, I think he had gone back with Disney at least to like Sleeping Beauty. So
yeah, he's been with Disney for a long time. Although I thought that he did more films with Disney. So I thought, because I always thought that he did Sword in the Stone, because I thought it had the kind of Don Bluth aspects to it, but I guess not. And I thought he did. What else did I mistakenly think he did? Oh no, he did Robin Hood. Yeah, that's his main one from Disney, I think, right? Like
I think he
most
actually
popular
animated
one.
Robin Hood, like the fox in that.
Yeah,
like the character of Robin Hood.
And I thought he did The Great Mouse Detective, but that was way after he left. That was like 6 or 7 years after he left, which is a Disney film that I really like for some reason.
It's Vincent Price, baby. Like,
yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah.
But I do think, like, even though I don't maybe respond to it now, and I'm not even sure like how I would respond to most animated films now. Like I don't really rewatch a lot of the films I watched as a kid. Like I don't, because I watched a lot of Disney films as a kid. My stepkids weren't really into Disney. They were more into Miyazaki. So like even for them, like if I was to say, let's watch a Disney film, like they would just think it's kind of, like they would think it's pointless. Like they would rather watch Miyazaki. So that's like Disney for them. And I don't even know, like if I watched, I still think I would like Sword in the Stone now. But I'm not sure if I would really enjoy 101 Dalmatians or The Rescuers or anything like that. So I'm not trying, like what I'm trying to say is like, I don't know if what my complaints are with the story would be specific to The Secret of NIMH. What, like, just the weird thing I found was that like the world seems so small in this area. And I just find it so weird that Mrs. Brisby would never have met these people, and like it seems like weird that like her husband would be able to keep all this stuff separate.
Yes.
But whatever, that's maybe I'm just projecting, like
Well, she knows of the rats. She knows they exist and where they live, but she's just never met them for whatever reason. But
it's also like nobody knows about it
Yeah.
or talks about it either. Like she knows Mr. Aegis, and
Yeah, who's like one of the intelligent experimented on mice.
yeah, which is weird because he's not like when you say, you know, all the creatures in the backyard are anthropomorphized and they all seem to have a fairly consistent level of intelligence. I think that's a fair criticism because I don't,
Except for the crows.
except for the crows.
They're idiots.
They're idiots.
Well, they just love string for some
And the
reason.
cats. Yeah. Well, I mean, the shrew's kind of an idiot too. Like, she just comes in, starts screaming, and like seems to hate the kids and Mrs. Brisby and everything, and then she's taking care of them, like, and is their savior at the end, which is weird. But like, yeah, it seems like okay, Mr. Aegis may just be a normal mouse, or he could be a Nimrat, and like. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be any clear delineation between like where the regular mice or creatures end and the Nimrats begin outside of just their surroundings. Like there's nothing especially intelligent or technologically advanced that they do or exhibit or say. It's just all this stuff around them. And it seems even more of a cop out that like everything is built up to be like these rats are technologically advanced and they can engineer things with general gizmos and whatnot. But then we have this magic amulet, and like which is it? Are they magic?
Yeah,
Are they?
that's something where I don't like as a kid I don't even know if I understood that was a clash. I was like, oh, magic, magic thing. Well, that's fine. But now it's like, yeah, it is a bit weird. I was reading about Don Bluth's take on it, and he said that's meant to be a metaphor for her courage, but I don't think that's how metaphors work. Like, I think it's too literal. Like,
Yeah.
like
Well-
a metaphor would be like a stone that has no power, and then when she wears it, she becomes courageous, and like, or it's something where it's like, no, this amulet is like kind of allowing her to lift up stuff that she couldn't lift up normally. It has nothing to do with the scientific experiments, as far as I can tell.
It does give Mrs. Brisby something to do.
Yeah. But I see, that's where I don't really agree with what Robert is saying. Like, I do think the character is good, and I always liked the character of Miss Brisby. And I like that she is kind of doing like kind of what her husband was supposed to do. Like her husband died trying to, drug the cat, and she seems to fit in the world that her husband was a part of, and although it's all happening very quickly, and it has this kind of odd sort of like fantasy Lord of the Rings, not structure, but atmosphere a bit. Like, she has to go visit this great owl who says, here's your quest. Your quest is to go to the rats, and they will move your house for you. And that just seems like a weird quest. Like why wouldn't your quest be find another cinder block, or
well, and why do
find
they
a
have to move
hole?
the whole cinder block? Why can't they just like rig a device to just move Timothy? Because that's the only reason like that they're having difficulty is just because like Timothy can't be moved, but they're literally moving him. Like, just get a stretcher and toss him on it, and then move it that way. But getting back to the amulet bullshit, like, even still as a metaphor, I could accept that if it weren't the rats of Nim that gave it to her. Like, if they're supposed to represent the technological tribe in this world, it doesn't make sense that they also control magic in this. Like, if it were a thing for her courage, wouldn't it make more sense for her to get it from one of the regular non-rat or non-Nim?
Like, it would make more sense for her to get it from the Great Owl than Nicodemus.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as a kid, like, I would frequently confuse those two characters.
I absolutely agree. That was
in my mind.
I was getting to that, like, that Nicodemus is such a letdown after the owl. and even in the poster, they look like each other.
Yeah.
Like it's so bizarre because the owl actually takes up the most space on the poster, but they both have like the long beards and then the Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
With those, they both have weird ass glowing eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I love Derek Jacobi, but John Carradine is just a little bit more impressive, and the whole entrance of the owl is more impressive. Like too,
with all those cobwebs and such to kind of take
Yeah.
it off of him.
and the
Yeah.
spider that, and even that, like I'm willing to suspend my disbelief that I don't know he won't attack her because it's nighttime or it's not nighttime.
hmm
They don't quite get into that, but whatever.
Yeah, but there's a good, like the way he's animated is great, and even the sound effects, like you really feel his footsteps, like when he starts to go for a little fly there,
Mhm.
and he sort of has to ramp up to it. Although I do like Nicodemus as a character. He's sort of kind of like Gandalf, but he's not in it very much. And
I mean, I hate to say it, they could have cut the Great Owl and give more time to Nicodemus, and it might have been better because Mr. Aegis knows Nicodemus. So why does he say go to the Great Owl when he can just say go to Nicodemus?
Mhm.
yeah, because the Great Owl is the person that says go to Nicodemus, and yeah, you're right. Mr. Aegis knows about Nicodemus because he's apparently going there all the time for these votes and big discussions.
Mhm. Well, does Aegis take her there, or does Jeremy take her to the Great Owl?
So
Jeremy takes her to the Great Owl.
Jeremy-
but I think
yeah.
Aegis says go
Yeah,
to the
Jeremy
Aegis
Great
takes
Owl.
tells
her
her
to
to.
Great Owl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other things I liked, but as a kid, but don't make a whole lot of sense now, was like it seems like their weapons are like lightning charged, or maybe that was just made for effect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now and you know that's fine, whatever. But I do think that like the rats' world is sort of interesting, and like it does show that they're a bit smarter because they can manipulate and take stuff from a human world and make it into something, great in terms of like what these animals think are great. But
Well, Nicodemus also has these kind of like monitors so he can
Yeah.
see places and such. But yeah,
but those appear to be magical, not
yes, they do.
Yeah.
yeah. But also like what I never really got as a kid was like I thought there was this big society, but it's really just a group of like
Yeah.
10 rats, And I thought it would have been better if there was like a big colony of people where like the rats were intermixing with other rats, and because I assumed that Mrs. Brisby was smarter because she was, and I don't mean this in any sexist way, because her husband is smart and it sort of like influenced her, right? Because it sort of implied
Yeah.
like,
That he-
Jonathan taught me to read a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it in anything beyond like the specifics of this story, but I thought that maybe there would be, and I thought this was the case when I remembered it, but it's not. Like there would be this big society of rats and mice down there
Mhm.
where they were like intermixing with all like the NIMH rats, but that's not the case. Yeah.
Which is, it's another thing too, is like I feel like the length of time between the rats escaping from NIMH and like when the story takes place is way shorter than I think I would have thought when I first saw the movie, because it seems like it's only a couple weeks, or it could only be like maybe a year or something. I mean, the kids are fairly grown, but then
Yeah,
they're
they're
the
mice.
only. What's that?
Yeah.
But they're mice.
They're mice. But like, yeah, and they're the only kids in this entire farm too, apparently. Like
Are there any female rats?
No,
I
there
don't
aren't.
think so.
That's the thing.
they're
like-
all male in
Yeah.
yeah,
Like aren't they worried about like their whole like colony dying out because there's no females?
yeah. Well, and that's the weird thing too, is like, are there other rats of NIMH who've gone on to like breed with other mice? Is that why it's like a smaller colony?
I
Or
don't.
like,
I don't think that's the case. I thought that was the case though when I was a kid. I thought there was this big city of rats.
Yeah.
But there's not. I actually do think it is a long time, and I'm only saying that, although maybe the film is breaking its own rules, but Nicodemus is really old, and he makes a point of saying the reason why Jonathan didn't tell you is because we age much slower now that we've been experimented on. So but that doesn't even make sense because wouldn't you want to know why you're aging slower? But
How old is Nicodemus?
no, but he's
Compared to
supposed
all
to be
the other rats.
Yeah.
but he's supposed to be really old, right? Which means like in like the flashbacks when they're escaping, he's one of the young looking rats. I don't know which one he would be in those scenes, but I know which one is Mr. Aegis and Jonathan. But I think it's a long time ago, but even that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Because they couldn't have been living in this bush
The
and
rose
stealing
bush?
electricity for that long, right?
Well, why not?
Well, because
I mean,
why wouldn't
I
they have been
interpreted it a couple of
exterminated
years.
earlier then?
Sorry, say again, Nat?
Well, why are they just choosing now to exterminate them? Like they're
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where it sort of conflicts with what I'm saying because it would mean that it took the agency this many years to find out where the rats would eventually come.
Yeah.
Now, that's possible. Government agencies can be slow. But I also don't even know why they would track these rats down or how they could track them down unless they had some kind of GPS stuck in their blood or something, which is possible. But
Yeah.
because like they seem to knew that they were in the rose bush, right? That's kind of dumb.
Yes.
They knew they were in the rose bush. I don't know how they knew they were in the rose bush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of they know they're there on the farm and they know they're in the rose bush, but
yeah,
what the link is between the lab
this
and
is
the farm.
where I will maybe go back on what I said earlier. Whereas other animated films, like let's take one he worked on, Robin Hood, for example. I'm never questioning the logistics of the world, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
although I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't think I would be. Whereas this, it's the like because they're mixing the real, the so-called real world with this,
Mhm.
fantastical world of mice and rats and other animals. But they, but they make a point of kind of going back and forth. I do feel like it kind of gets in the way of the story a bit because the story has a very fantastical quest, almost Tolkien atmosphere to it, where you have like sort of like a chosen one character and you have magical objects and stuff. I'm trying to think of. I haven't seen The Rescuers in a long time, but I do recall there being like a mixture of the sort of like mice and rodent world and the human world, and it not being too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that obviously with 101 Dalmatians. I don't know. Yeah,
And
it's
the
just a
Rispy
little.
Cats, so I mean, yeah, we have a
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of need, or I wish they would stick to one thing for this. Like even with the whole subplot of Justin versus Jenner.
Mhm.
Also, there are way too many J names in this movie.
Yeah, I don't even know what Jenner's plot was.
Yeah.
Jenner's plot was he wants to remain in the rose bush and he wants to kill Nicodemus. And he thinks the best way to kill Nicodemus is to stage a construction accident when they're moving the cinder block.
Which is a terrible plot because they didn't
Well,
even
it
know they
worked.
would be moving the cinder block until Brisby showed up.
I know. Exactly.
But I feel like there's so many other avenues they could have gone with this. Like they could just have it with the humans as kind of like who they're fighting against. And even then, like the humans aren't presented, and I like this, the humans aren't presented as like nasty or evil. It's just like, let's just get rid of these fucking rats in this radioactive rose bush they've created. But to have like this weird power struggle for, I don't think any decent reason, just kind of derails, I guess, that world, or at least it just is kind of like another contrivance. So here we can have we can have some more conflict. But we already have so many other things going on with like saving Timmy and drugging the cat and avoiding the tractor and getting this amulet or convincing the rats and yeah. I would have liked it if they could have just kept it to like, here are these super intelligent rats. They have to more or less kind of come up against this family that they need to rely on to live and do all these amazing technologically wondrous things, but also do that without being caught.
Yeah, I agree, and I think maybe I'm thinking that's what the book is kind of like. But what I thought they should have done with the humans is, so you know in the first scene when the guy's driving the tractor and it's like, oh crap, we got to do this, and then like we got to move now, the tractor's coming, it's gonna destroy our home. And the human is sort of filmed in a way where you don't see his face. It's more abstract, or it's just more ominous, right? And it's just this kind of like unknown thing. I wish they would have treated all the humans moments like that, where they were just this, you know, big presence that is just there, and you didn't really sort of get to know them as humans. They were just this thing, like almost treating them as like they're part of nature, or like they're just part of the natural world that like is just so big for these animals to fathom that you don't really see their faces. You don't really see anything. You don't hear the phone call about the extermination. I actually don't like that now as a plot line, and as a kid I think it totally blew past me. But I just think the more they focus on the real world, the human world, it sort of takes away from the story of these characters.
Yeah, maybe if the animals weren't speaking English and the people weren't speaking English, it'd be more believable. Or if you had did something funny like Charlie Brown did with the
I was
adults.
gonna say, you're gonna have them like the adults or all the humans speak like peanuts. I don't know. I like both of them, and I think I want to give it a pass for having it both ways. Like I do like the tractor scene, and I like that when the guy looks at the fuel line, it's like, oh man, this thing busted. And so it's just kind of nonchalant. Like there's no way an animal could have done this.
No. I like that scene too. I'm saying the later ones I don't like.
That's what I'm saying though. I like both, and I like when they actually do show their faces when they call, like typical government agency calling in the middle of the fucking night, waking everybody up, disturbing everyone. But just kind of like how cavalier they are about it. And it's like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, come on, go ahead and destroy it. I like that because it, after like everything in this world that's an animal being a threat, I like that the humans actually aren't the greatest threat of all. They're just or at least they're not like evil. It's just, yeah, go ahead and take care of it. But they're just kind of like unthinking, or there's not like, they don't interact with this. And I like that, because to me it is a little bit more human, even though it may be colder, that they're just callously wiping out or giving the go ahead to wipe out everything. It's not like for anything malicious.
Oh yeah.
I would say one of the other things I felt is lacking is that I don't feel that Timmy is ever established as a character to care one way or another what happens to him, other than how it affects other characters. And I wish they had, maybe a prologue scene or something, or the flashback, so we know who Timmy is and why he's. Well, I mean, I know why, but they can make a connection between the audience and Timmy, so that we care what happens to him, other than how it affects Mrs. Brisby.
I agree. Also, I don't know to that, like, we spend so much time with the other kids, or at least we spend way more time with the other kids, who I wouldn't mind seeing die, but
they're brats, aren't they?
I'm also surprised that they're way more like Mrs. Brisby, or like a normal mouse. That they, Jonathan, another goddamn Jay, that they don't seem to be like the kids of a super intelligent mouse. But I don't know. That's it. At least it's something for Mrs. Brisby to like propel her forward, or just basically say, I have to do this. And I do kind of like Mrs. Brisby, so.
I like her too. Feel bad for her.
Which we should get into. Mrs. Brisby, hot or not? Is she hotter than Gadget?
I don't know. I can't tell.
She seems to have the hots for Justin.
She does. And, well, she's the only female mouse apparently in this entire world.
Yeah. Well, Justin is cool, so I don't blame her.
I do like Justin's entrance, dressed like acting like he's a toy soldier, lined
Mhm.
up and then like sneaking up on him. And
Yeah, he's just doing a little bit of kind of goofing around.
yeah. After like the other Electro Rats basically wanting to kill her for no reason.
Hmm.
Also, did it seem weird to you when you were watching this as a youngster, Cody, when she loses her shawl? Like
Yes, it did seem weird.
It seems weird that she's naked, even though she's naked like basically the entire film.
I think well, yeah, you mean she's not wearing pants, right?
She's not wearing pants, but also she's not wearing a top.
Or
Like,
a bra, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think as a kid, I realized like, okay, these are special animals, and they have to. I don't know if I would have thought this exact thing, but they have to be coded as being unintelligent, aka they can't be wearing their clothes, or they can't be humanized anyway. I don't that thought process did not play itself out as I described it now as a kid.
Yeah.
But I thought, like, at least I knew as a kid, oh yeah, they have to pretend to be wild animals, like when they're going in the house and stuff. Otherwise, they might think something's up. Although now when you watch it as an adult, like, what would they think? Why does this mouse have a shawl on? Yeah. Is it because it's a super intelligent mouse?
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
honestly,
I feel that's kind of
like if the mouse had like a
check-
robot suit that was flying around, then I would think, yeah, oh, that's a super intelligent mouse.
I would think I could
But
make
if it's
money
wearing
from
like a
this.
raggedy shawl, I wouldn't think like all of a sudden,
like
super intelligent.
I feel this is a Disney thing. I think if you just kind of approached it, you just say, okay, we're going to draw them like mice and rats, and maybe we'll give them a little like a spot or a pattern on their fur or something so that we can tell them apart. But it's like, oh, we got to anthropomorphize them and give them cute miniature clothing just so.
Well, look,
Children
you
will
need-
watch it.
yeah, no, you need the clothing. It's just a little inconsistent who wears clothes and who doesn't. The rabbits don't wear clothes.
Yep.
The crow
owl
doesn't wear
doesn't.
clothes. The owl doesn't
cat
wear
doesn't wear
clothes.
clothes.
The
Owl
cat doesn't wear clothes. Yeah.
Nicodemus probably doesn't wear clothes. Just
He was wearing something, wasn't he?
No, it's just all a big tattoo, rat tattoo. But it's off-putting, or it's unsettling because, like, because she basically is naked, but it just feels like even more naked. Like putting clothes on an animal, like no matter how little it covers it up, just seems to like call more attention to the fact that animals are naked. And so when they are actually naked, like in their natural state, it somehow just feels creepier, or off-putting. And she's also
I have animals that I put clothes on sometimes for my amusement,
and I feel creeped
and
out by
I don't ever think about what you're thinking about.
Well, yeah, but that's not how you normally see them, though. Like when your dog or cat or gecko or whatever first walks into your room to lick the peanut butter off your face to wake you up in the morning, like it's not wearing that clothes that you put on them.
Well, it could. Like I have like a sweater my little dog wears that she can't get it off.
Yeah, sweaters stay on.
Mm-hmm. And I have like a pirate outfit that I put on her sometimes.
As one does.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like in the world that this film sets up, like the natural state of these animals is to be wearing like the outfits that they're wearing, and they keep to them. And then
Yeah.
when those outfits are removed, there is a point to it. There is a significance to it, like you said, with drugging the cat, and then when she gets caught and is thrown in the cage, like I know it does at least convey the idea of her being in an especially vulnerable state, which
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah,
it's also,
I
feel
sort of
it's
see it
probably-
as more just like an atypical state. Like she's sort of treated as an animal, whereas
Mhm.
like she's in a cage with water and a little rolly thing or a row thing where she can run, whereas normally she's anthropomorphic,
Mhm.
pomorphic, and so yeah, I guess like vulnerable is a good way to put it.
Also, it's weird she's in a bird cage. Like,
Yeah, that is a bit weird. I'm not even sure like why they would keep the mouse actually. Like if it was my parents, they would make me throw it out.
yeah.
So
That, um, oh yeah. Also, it's weird that she just wears a shawl, but like everybody else, whether Nimrats or not, like
have
has
pants.
way better outfits, like or more complex outfits. But then it's also probably like, okay, we don't want to animate all of this clothing throughout the entire film.
I mean, she is the main character.
Yeah. So we'll just toss a shawl.
I think she should have.
today.
Now that you say it, I think she should have had pants and a shirt. Yeah.
Maybe. That's why Jenna or Justin was so intrigued. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
never seen a mouse going around without pants. Justin's a pervert.
I kind of I don't recall them ever describing the animals wearing clothes in the book, and that's probably the difference between a novel for children and an animation.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yeah. Now I will say Oh, sorry. Do you have something you want to go on there, Robert?
Well, I feel that's kind of like we talked about it before, is that there's a very realistic world and a fantasy world, and that trying to mix them doesn't always work real well here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say I have not read these books, but when I was a kid, I also was into this series of books called Redwall.
Yeah.
You guys heard of that?
Yeah, I read those.
I have not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think they're I wouldn't they're after your time, I guess, Robert. Not that you don't exist anymore, but they're books like basically like they're like fantasy war books. Like they're all the different animals are intelligent. There's no really humans. There's just and they have battles and swords and armor and stuff. And in those books, I think they would describe not in great detail, but like enough detail that you could picture what they were wearing. And it was kind of like medieval times. And I think if I'm just guessing, but I'm assuming that this book was like Watership Down or something, like or maybe in that vein, like where the animals are humanized, but not to the extent of like Mr. Toad or whatever, like where you have cars and teacups and stuff or whatever. Yeah, but I do think overall, I think it works in the movie. Like I just don't think some of the larger story points kind of work, or they get in the way, I guess, of what the story is.
Well, I feel like having a consistent world is something this movie struggles with.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys? Well, maybe Robert, you were too old for this, but did you guys watch the other Don Bluth stuff when it was out, or like around the time it was out?
No, but I know American Tail made a splash when it came out.
I think Land Before Time, did that do pretty well? I mean, they made a ton of sequels to it, and like we watched that in school. We watched
I
this.
watched Land Before Time.
Yeah, we watched American Tail and probably All Dogs Go to Heaven. I think I never saw it, but I think Anastasia was also a pretty big hit. But that was later.
That was the 90s.
Yeah. like I think 97 or so.
Yeah, I mean it's really history of animation. There's not been a whole lot of competition.
Mhm.
It's been Disney and then everybody else, but then you had like the 80s where you had your first challenge to Disney, and I would say right now Disney is being challenged by Illumination and DreamWorks too.
Yeah. And they acquired Pixar, so they've got that. But then they've been doing like a lot of sequels, and Illumination I feel is just like all sequels right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
mean, DreamWorks has the big hit with the Wild Robot. So
Yeah.
So one Don Bluth I saw a lot as a kid was Rockadoodle. Have you guys ever seen that one?
I
I've
have
not seen that, but I know that one.
Yeah. That's another one where they do mix a lot of real world, like there's even a real world sequence in it, like where like there's like a flood or something and a family's trying to like sandbag their house so it doesn't get destroyed. But yeah, that's like where like there's like a rooster who's like Elvis.
Yep.
And he loses his mojo because he gets beat up one night, and they're like driving cars and singing and stuff, and yeah, there's a bit of some weird clash of worlds there too. Did you guys watch All Dogs Go to Heaven?
I've seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. It's pretty good.
Got Burt Reynolds. Classic.
I don't remember Burt Reynolds, but I remember the movie.
Well, speaking of Burt Reynolds, let's get back. We do have Dom DeLuise here, so they were in a few films together, and good or annoying, I guess the question would be here.
I liked him way more than I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to find Jeremy incredibly obnoxious, but I like the animation of him, even though at times like it's his feathers look like fur instead of feathers, especially toward the end. Like he's a bird, but he looks way more like he has fur, like another mouse, than actual feathers. But
I like him too, but I think he's a completely pointless character for the story.
He kind of has to be. I think you run into the Eagles thing too much if you get too much of him, because he does fly her to the owl.
Yeah.
And then he sort of like gets out of the picture. Otherwise, like he could just fly her to wherever she needs to go.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I feel that right. He basically become purely comic relief after the owl. Before he kind of somewhat useful, but then after that it's like, oh no, you can get beat up by Auntie Shrew and the kids, and
yeah,
but it's like half the movie tied up in the string that he loves.
And isn't it kind of weird? Like they resolve his story, but they don't go anywhere with the relationship between Brisby and Justin. Like
no, they don't.
Like that's set up as, I don't even know why they set that up as like a love interest, and then just kind of like his story just plays out with Jenner, and that's it.
Well, he can become like Justin becomes the new leader of the Rats, I guess, and that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, let's wrap her up, guys.
I should probably also mention that Aldo Ray is Sullivan, Shannon Doherty is Teresa Brisby, Will Wheaton is Martin Brisby, and Edie McClurg is Miss Wright, like the wife.
You're right. You should have mentioned that. Yeah,
I should have, but I don't even remember who Sullivan is. So,
but
me neither.
But they do. I mean, now that you mention it, that is kind of like one of the earliest cases of celebrity casting, because usually the animated film would just go with voice actors.
Yes. Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's interesting.
Which is, I think, is somewhat. I mean, The Rescuers did not. I mean, that probably predates it when you had Bob Newhart and Jaja. Yeah. but generally it's we get these established voice actors and they'll do a good job. It'll be done with it. Like what? But Peter Ustinov in Robin Hood.
Yes.
Or, okay.
And actually, yeah, Peter Ustinov and Terry Thomas.
Okay.
Like Terry Thomas may not be as well known, but
but yeah,
and actually, and Phil, Jack Benny, Phil, Blue,
oh yeah,
Jesus, why am I blanking?
Why don't you just look it up, Matt?
Phil Harris, thank you. I'm literally looking up right. Hey, fuck you. Actually, yeah, with Jungle Book too, like Louis Prima, Sebastian Cabot. Although I think Sebastian Cabot was more voice actor than Sterling Holloway. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Phil Harris, but I get your point.
Well, certainly late '60s on, they started to mix celebrities in there. So
yeah, like is there a voice that we could name in Pinocchio or Snow White or Sleeping Beauty?
Unless you're a Disney nerd, probably not.
Yeah.
It's a good point, Robert, and I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, nowadays it's like we don't care if you're a good voice actor or not. If you're a celebrity, you could be in an animated film.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, celebrities could just do whatever they want.
I guess star power counts. I mean, you gotta give something for the adults to come out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like didn't the guy from Pee Wee Herman like whack off in a theater and had no consequences?
He did.
He did. I mean, his show was canceled.
Yeah.
But aside from that,
that's a pretty big consequence.
That's pretty big. That was a big show. I love Pee Wee's Playhouse. Actually, one last question. For this, who gets the Robert F. Reinecke Award for who's having the most time of their life among the voice cast, or even with the animators?
The animators, well, the Bad Rat is animated pretty crazily, over animated, not in a bad way. The Cobweb animator is having fun.
Spider animator, the texture like clothing animator. I know. I figured
animator that does all the lightning stuff and like electricity flowing is having fun.
Mm-hmm. I know. Is it Don Bluth or is it Dom DeLuise? Dom or Don?
Who can tell with Dom? I mean, he only kind of acts the same, so. I mean, probably was him, but.
Okay. So the inaugural.
It's a stalemate. It's a stalemate. We don't know.
I mean, so you're paying me this much for? I don't even have to get in front of the camera. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I just have to read these couple lines and. Yeah.
I mean, I will say he if you're going to cast Dom DeLuise, I mean, animation is a good use for him too. I feel he has an expressive enough voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And he did other ones after this too, didn't he? Like he was in other Don Bluth animated films, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was in American Tail.
Yeah. Okay. He might be the connection between Don Bluth and Burt Reynolds.
That would make a lot of sense. Well, I'm pretty much done. I don't know. There are some interesting notes where I guess they did want to make Nicodemus and the Great Owl the same character. Jenner had a larger part, but I don't know. I think we've covered those satisfactorily.
We hit those.
Yeah.
So I believe Cody has next month's film.
That's right.
So what's it going to be, Cody?
Dead Heat.
I don't think I've ever heard anything good about it, so I'm eager to watch it.
Well, there's a new 4K out. It's not new though. It's about a year and a bit old. You gonna buy it?
Is this Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This looks very much like the Rutger Hauer sort of films.
It's not. It's what's it closer to?
All
I don't want to spoil it.
All I know is I've heard it's very bad, but
I wouldn't say it's very bad. But we'll get into it next month. It's on Tubi, which is good.
Classic.
Also, Secret of NIMH is on Tubi.
Yeah, that's how I watched it.
That's how I watched it.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't get into the sequel. Have you guys seen the sequel of Secret of NIMH?
What, Timmy to the Rescue?
Timmy to the Rescue. I saw it. It sucks.
I have not seen it, but I've heard it sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed prior to searching for Secret of NIMH, and I heard nothing about it, but it's not surprising that it sucks. I heard Don Bluth had nothing to do with it, so.
Yep.
It sucks all around.
So, well, we'll have some fun next month. Sometimes bad movies can lead to interesting conversations.
That's true.
Even not great movies can lead to interesting conversations. How about the bad? Because I'm not prejudging the film.
It's fine for them to prejudge it.
You absolutely. You opened with, I've heard no good things about this film.
Oh, that is true.
Tainted judgment.
If it's so bad, why is it on 4K?
That's a good question.
that
Maybe we'll be able to answer it next month. Anyhow, that should wrap up this episode. If our listeners have questions or comments, you can email us at skyespodcast@gmail.com or leave us a note on Facebook. Also, feel free to share a link on social media. Thanks for listening. We hope you'll join us next month for Dead Heat. Bye.
Bye.
Watch the skies everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the skies.